UFC Tampa in the last UFC card of 2024. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Young Pastey. That's why. Very white body. And I'm here to bring you all of my picks for UFC Tampa in Florida. I got the hoodie on. My grandma got it for me. R.I.P. Grandma. But I'm here to bring you all of my picks. Now, for last week, we went 9-5. Not bad. You know, some of the underdog picks didn't come through, but they put up a hell of a fight. I'm not mad at it. 9-5. We'll move forward. Overall, for 2024, we're 99-44. Kind of a cool number. I'm almost at a 70% pick rate, so I'm hoping this card will put me over the edge there, and we can end it with a bang. So, please, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Throw a like on the video. Comment if you can, and share the video to all your friends and family. I would really appreciate your support. Goes a long way. Now, let's break down UFC Tampa. Main event, we got Colby Covington. Colby Chaos Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. Plus 220 for Colby. Minus 270 for Buckley. My pick for this fight is going to be Joaquin Buckley. I think he gets another win on the win column, and I think he, moves his way on up in the rankings here. I think he takes Colby Covington 5 rounds by decision. I think he has a striking advantage. He has a clear and evident reach advantage. You'll see it in the octagon. He's got some long-ass arms. He's got the power advantage. He's shown that he has cardio, okay? So if it ends up going 5 rounds for some reason, which I think it will, I think he lasts that long with Covington. And, I mean, let's be honest, guys. Colby Covington is just a pretty name and a loud mouth. I think, to be honest with you, he's a bitch. I mean, could he beat me up? Yeah. But I'm not a UFC fighter. Okay? Anyway, Colby, this is not your fight, brother. Okay? I think you need some washed up scrub to beat off of your, championship fights that you somehow get thrown into. You know what I mean? I mean, look at his last 2 wins, other than his, championship fights that he's lost. Tyron Woodley, Jose Masvidal. I mean, these guys are washed at this point. You know what I mean? So they're not notable wins at all. They're giving him a young up-and-coming Joaquin Buckley, fresh off a win off of Wonder Boy. Nice knockout there. I think Buckley takes care of it and gets it done. Minus 270, justified line to me. Plus 220 for Covington. I mean, he's got a puncher's chance, and you never know. I mean, it's the UFC. You never know. But Buckley, all day. Shut his punk ass up. Please, for everybody's sake. I don't know who's a Colby Covington fan, but it's not me. Next fight. And if this is the co-main, I know we had the women's fight drop out, which has been rescheduled for next year, but if this is the co-main, why? Can we get this switched, please? I really hope I'm looking at this in the wrong order. But anyway, Swanson versus Billy Quarantillo. Some vets. Honestly, some old UFC vets. And my pick for this fight's going to be Swanson. I think he's got a little bit left in the tank to get this taken care of. Okay? Swanson still got a little bit of power. He's crafty. He moves really nice. Now, what I will say, though, is if Quarantillo gets top position on the ground, Swanson just kind of fucking sits there and pulls guard and takes it. You know what I mean? I don't like that. No one really likes that. And at this point, is he gonna pull a sub off the back? I mean, I doubt it. But I think he gets a hard fought out decision versus Billy Quarantillo. I think he can withstand any takedown attempts that he throws his way. I think, again, he's quicker and he can, move and he's 41, but in his past fights, he actually throws his hands really quick. So at 41, he's still got a little bit left in the tank. I think he gets it done here. Give me Swanson, the old underdog. And we move on to the next fight. We got Manel, Kape versus Bruno Silva. Starboy versus the Bulldog. Minus 380 for Manel. Plus 280 for Bruno Silva. Now, this is not the other Bruno Silva. This is a different Bruno Silva. And this fight was tough for me for a second, but then I realized Manel Kape is just on a different level and is a really good flyweight. In this, I mean, look at, I'm going to go through his fight history here. Okay? Because we need to discuss it. First fight in the UFC, they throw him to the wolves. Alexander Pantoja? Come on now. That's a hard fight, but he goes 3 rounds and loses a decision. Next fight in the UFC, again, another tough dog at that time. Matthias Nicolau loses a split decision. But then he goes on a roll. Ode Osborne, Zumagulov, Dorvak, Felipe Dos Santos. These are nice wins. And then he loses to Muhammad Mukayev, which I don't... Fuck that fight. Excuse my French, but fuck that fight. You know those kind of grapplers that just hug you and they don't do any damage? That's what that whole fucking fight was. It was just one of the worst fights I've ever seen. A lot of people will agree with me. I hope we're past that, though. And it was tough because I like Brazilians and I like when they show grit and toughness. And Bruno Silva has been through some suspect moments, but has come back to get the win at the end of the day. So he's tough and he's gritty and he does have power. He has a few knockouts in his land. But Manel Kape will show his UFC experience and, MMA experience in general is superior to Bruno's. His competition he's gone up against is much better. I think he gets the takedown, gets top position, and goes to work. We got Manel Kape with confidence. Give me Starboy. Let's go. Next fight. Okay, we got Vitor Petrino versus Dustin Jacoby. Minus 300 for Petrino and plus 240 for Jacoby, the Hanyak. Oh, man. The pick here is Vitor Petrino. I am just so salty about his last fight when he just fucking shoved his head into a guillotine with Anthony Smith, who's washed at this point. And you're supposed to be some up-and-coming prospect from Brazil who's got all these skills, and you walk into a gilly? Now, the reason he's my pick and I'm reluctant with it, Justin Jacoby's washed. He's washed. I guess Anthony Smith had a little bit in the tank at that time. I don't know. He just got lucky with that, to be honest with you. But Dustin Jacoby really hasn't looked good in the past few fights. Is he tough and is he gritty? Yes, he is. He's a vet and he's seen it for a while, but I think it's time for him to let go of those gloves. Vitor Petrino has serious power, man. If he doesn't walk into a guillotine, he's live for the knockout here, for sure. I think I was watching that fight with Anthony Smith, and this is what he was doing this beforehand. Acting real fucking cocky, and I said, I don't like that at all. And look what happened. In Brazil. So I think he redeems himself here. I think he shows the world who he is, or who he wants to, who he's supposed to be. They're giving him a layup here, okay? Dustin Jacoby's got a face and a chin that's likely to get knocked out. So that's what I think happens here. Petrino by knockout. Next fight. Oh, man. Make this or another one of these fights I'm about to go over the co-main, because this is a good fight here. We got Adrian Yanez versus Daniel Marcos Soncora. Plus 135 for Adrian Yanez, minus 160 for Daniel Marcos. This was tough for me to pick, but my pick is going to be Daniel Marcos. And, man, I was going back and forth because I do like Adrian Yanez. He's tough and he's a good boxer. But I think Marcos has shown us enough in the UFC that he's got heart. He's tough. He trains in Peru, which is at high elevation. I don't know, every time I see that red hair, he always ends up getting the win somehow. He finds a way to win. Minus 160? That's gone down since I wrote it here. But, yeah, Daniel Marcos, all day. I think he keeps, because look, Adrian Yanez has power and he has like tight boxing, right? So I think Daniel Marcos, he's able to move around the octagon, and if he keeps the distance and picks and chooses his shots well, I think that he can end up he's gonna get the decision win. I don't think he's gonna get a knockout on Yanez. That would be crazy because Yanez is tough as fuck. Yanez is a tough cookie. All right. It's like you burn cookies and you bite them and you can't break them. That's fucking Adrian Yanez. So it's tough. It was a tough one for me to pick, but Daniel Marcos is the pick. That red hair, man. That red hair always gets me. So next fight, we have a light heavyweight fight. We have Navajo Stirling versus Tuco Tokkos. Minus 650 for Navajo, plus 425 for Tokkos. Navajo is a Dana White Contender Series prospect. Tokkos was a late fill-in from UFC off of regional scenes. My pick for this fight is Navajo Stirling. Let's don't get it twisted here. Tuco Tokkos, you got subbed by Umar Side, taken to the ground within 30 seconds. Now you're just going to lose by knockout here by Stirling. Dude, this guy is jacked, man. He looks like, he gives me Arnold Schwarzenegger vibes, dude. He's built. But yeah, Tokkos is going to get knocked the fuck out, unfortunately. His path to victory here, I don't know, wrestling? We haven't seen Stirling's wrestling. It's just, man, good luck, Tukos. Not much on this fight because I don't think it's going to last too long. Stirling is the pick by knockout. Let's go. Next fight. Excuse me. We have UFC vet Michael Johnson versus Ottman Azaitar. The Bulldozer. Didn't I say that before? Nah, the Bulldog. So we have the Bulldog and the Bulldozer. Do we have the bullshit next? That didn't make any sense. Anyway, Michael Johnson, minus 180 favorite, plus 150 for Ottman. Man. Dude, Michael Johnson's been fighting in the UFC for ages now, it feels like. I think it's fucking 2010, dude. 2010? I need to see when his first fight was in the UFC. 2010! That's nuts. Wow, he's been through it all, though. He's fought tough competition. And he's going up against Ottman Azaitar, who has not looked good. He got knocked out by Matt Frivola. Who the hell is this fucker? Francisco Prado. Got knocked out by a prospect. Oh, man. This fight, I think, goes the distance for sure. I think Michael Johnson just pieces him apart, keeps it on the feet, tees him up. He's not going to get a knockout. I don't think that he has enough power for that. He is strong. Don't get me wrong. It's a lightweight fight, right? But when I first saw his name, I thought it was Ottman. And honestly, Michael Johnson is going to kick his feet up and put his feet onto Ottman and just relax. Because that's how this fight's going to go. Easy 3 rounds for Michael Johnson decision. That's how I think it goes. I think his boxing is better. His movement is better. His striking is nice and clean. Give me Michael Johnson, bro. Next fight. Hey, we got Joel Alvarez, El Phenomenimo versus Drakkar Klose. Minus 390 favorite for Joel, plus 290 for Drakkar Klose. Man, my pick for this fight is Joel Alvarez. This would just seem too easy for me, right? Is it just me? Or does Drakkar Klose kind of look like a little chubby in the ring or in the octagon at some points? Is it just me? He kind of keeps himself a little bit out of shape. Or is it just that going up against Joel Alvarez, who's jacked and is a little, much taller and lengthier than him? Joel Alvarez is a sneaky striker and a crafty submission artist. Put those two things together. It's dangerous. Okay? They're both live. I bet you Drakkar tries to wrestle him and get it to the ground and just try and take top control, which could happen at some point. But Joel Alvarez has, again, great crafty submissions from guard or anywhere, honestly. He has great takedown defense, so... And look, I mean, dude, he's so much taller and so much lengthier than him. I think he'll use that to his advantage to get back up if he ever does get taken down. But, man, he's going to get pieced up, in my opinion. He's going to get pieced up, maybe knocked down to a sub. So, honestly, I think Joel Alvarez is live for the sub here. Give me Joel Alvarez by sub. He's going to piece him up. That reach advantage is crazy. Drakkar Klose has power. He'll need to really get into and close the distance. But I think his path to victory is to make it gritty and dirty. Lots of cage work. Get it to the ground. Throw some dirty elbows in, ground and pound. That's his path to victory. But I don't see that happening. Again, Joel Alvarez, crafty submission artist, great takedown defense and get up game. That reach advantage is going to keep him away. Give me Joel Alvarez all day with confidence. By sub. Next pick. Next fight. A good fight. Sean Woodson versus Fernando Padilla. We got the sniper versus El Valente. El Valentine? I think it's El Valente. Anyway, even though your nickname sounds cool, Fernando, we got Sean Woodson in this fight. He is the pick. I'm a Sean Woodson fan. And he's shown all the doubters that he is here and he's good. Deservingly ranked, I think. I think he deserves to be ranked if he isn't. I don't know his exact ranking or if he is or isn't. But he's fighting a Fernando Padilla, a tough Mexican who is, has crafty subs. But, I mean, look, Sean Woodson's called the sniper for the reason, right? Great kickboxer, man. Great kicks. Great jabs. I mean, his power, it's just crazy. 6'2", 145. So, keep that in mind. He's just huge for the division. Now they're giving him kind of another build. But, I mean, bro, you lost to Kyle Nelson, who was on a little bit of a run until the inevitable happened. He got fraud checked by Steve Garcia. So, I mean, look, I would not take that, put any stock into that, I mean, really? Kyle Nelson? You lost to Kyle Nelson? Anyway. Sean Woodson is the pick with confidence. He is going to tee him up for 3 rounds. Kickbox, jabs. The striking numbers are going to be so misadvantaged. Fernando's not going to know what to do. I think he gets gassed, to be honest with you. I think Padilla gets gassed. Minus 175 for Woodson, plus 145 Padilla. I would think Woodson would at least be a 2-1 favorite. So he's still money lineable at minus 175 if you're looking at the betting side. But the pick is still Sean Woodson. Yes, he's a slight favorite. I think it's a little disrespectful. I think he should be 2-3-1 favorite, man. Sean Woodson's good. You guys will see. Sean Woodson good. I am a fan of Sean Woodson. Give me the sniper, and we move on to the next fight. We got Miles Johns, Chapo versus the Jungle Boy, Felipe Lima. They don't have the odds on here. I think Miles Johns is actually the underdog. He was supposed to fight maybe last card or a few cards ago. I don't remember, but he was supposed to fight in one of the past recent fights here. Oh man, this is a pretty good fight. Now Felipe Lima, Brazilian newcomer prospect. Well, I only got 1 win in the UFC, I believe. Yeah. Versus Muhammad Naimov. I mean, that's a notable win, a solid win. And I believe he took that on short notice. And looked really good. He's a tough... Oh, now I remember him. Oh, he's a tough motherfucker, dude. Oh, I remember that fight like this. Like, perfect. Oh, man. He looked really good in that fight, actually. He's going up against the Miles Johns, though, who has tons of UFC experience. Notable wins. and has looked better and better and better in his past few fights. And man, if he's an underdog, I am all over it. I mean, he's my pick for this fight because I think he's stronger. I think he has better boxing than Lima is. Lima's training with, I wouldn't say not the best competition. I mean, he's obviously in a gym, in an MMA gym, right? But Miles Johns is much, much, much cleaner with his striking, I believe. Felipe Lima does have a gas tank, so he can keep it going for 3 rounds, but so does Miles Johns, right? But his boxing is better, I think, in my opinion. I actually think, look, Felipe Lima is going to come in there with the pressure heavy. So I think Miles Johns is just kind of move around the ring. I keep saying ring, my bad, guys. Move around the octagon. Keep the range right. And piece him up, man. Miles Johns is a great boxer. I got him in the fight. If he's an underdog, that's even better. Miles Johns in the pick, and we move on to the next fight. 2 women's fights on this card. This is the first one. We got Miranda Maverick. Fear the Miranda Maverick versus Jamie-Lyn Horth. Minus 450 for Maverick, plus 325 for Jamie-Lyn. Jamie-Lyn Horth, your last fight, I'm sorry, but you did not win it. Who did you go up against? Petrovic? Yeah, you lost to her big time. And then you lost to the Veronica Hardy. She's a fraud, man. And the younger fighter here, 7 years younger, I know she's technically 4 inches, smaller than her. But she's a brute little tough girl, man. Miranda Maverick is nice with it, right? She's a minus 450 favorite for a reason. She's my pick for the reason. Look, pressure, wrestling, striking. Those are my 3 reasons why she's going to end up getting this fight in the win over Jamie-Lyn. I saw Jamie-Lyn getting pieced up. I think Miranda Maverick is a better striker than her. Now look, I think I'll give the power advantage to Jamie-Lyn, but I think she's just wild and her fighter IQ is not there at some points. Her coach has really got to reel her in. When she's mid-round, she's kind of doing stupid shit. So we got Miranda Maverick all day with confidence, and we move on to the next fight. Another freaking good fight. This fight night here is low-key pretty good. We got Davy Grant, dangerous, versus Ramon Tavares, the Savage. Plus 105 for Davy Grant, minus 125 for Tavares. Okay, these odds are getting closer to almost a pick 'em. Davy Grant's almost about to be a favorite here. It's crazy. My pick for the fight is Ramon Tavares. Now, Davy Grant is a tough cookie, man. He's a tough cookie, and if you get past the test of Davy Grant, you're UFC worthy to me. And I think Ramon Tavares can show us once again that he is UFC worthy. Now he's coming off a win against Saidi, who is another Dana White Contender Series prospect and who's actually pretty nice with it. Don't agree with some of the decisions in his career when it comes to the fights, but nevertheless, he had 2 fights with him, got knocked out the first time, comes back and wins the decision and gets his redemption over his Dana White Contender Series failure. But he is nice with it, man. He is nice with it. He got a really big fucking head. So he is really hittable. And Davy Grant's tough, but he's also very hittable as well. And I think Ramon Tavares, being the younger fighter, 8 years younger, Davy Grant's kind of getting up there, man, at 38. I mean, he's shown that he's still got it, right? So I'm not going to count him out in this fight, and that's why the odds show, and they're pretty much almost a pick 'em. But I think Ramon Tavares can pass this test of Davy Grant and move on to bigger and better fights in the UFC. Ramon Tavares is called the Savage for a reason, right? He is a savage. All right, he's relentless with it in there. He's got great striking. Davy Grant is sneaky with his strikes, though. And again, like I was saying, Ramon Tavares got a big head. He's very, very hittable. But he can take a punch. He's the guy that, take a punch, get a punch. So, Betting wise, I mean, you could go either way, to be honest with you. You got to check out the bets video on Wednesday. Picks Ramon Tavares. And we move on to the last fight of the video, but the first fight of the night. We got Josephine Knudsen, Thunder, versus Piera Rodriguez, La Fiera. Oh my gosh, dude, she looks so mean in that picture. But you don't intimidate me. We got Josephine Knudsen. She really put on her last fight and showed that she's a really good striker and has great takedown defense. Piera will try to use that to her advantage. She's going to shoot those takedowns, man. Josephine's the kind of person that Piera's looking for a sub. Josephine's kind of the position over submission kind of girl. But I think her striking is going to show and keep this fight on the feet. We got Thunder with confidence. Josephine Knudsen. I think this is a nice fight to start off UFC Tampa. I like Josephine Knudsen. I'm excited to see this fight. I think she keeps her O. I think she moves to 9-0. Again, takedown defense, takedowns herself, and the striking advantage clear. She's a really good kickboxer. And I think that, yes, Piera's tough. She's intimidating. She's got grit. She has heart. I don't think it'll be enough to win the fight, though. Josephine Knudsen, probably by decision. Oh, shoot. That's all the fights. Wow. All right. Well, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for your support. Appreciate you guys. Again, please like the video, comment if you can, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, share the video to your friends. My Patreon is free. It's where I put all of my bets out before I actually release the bets video on Wednesday, so you can peep them and get the odds at that time, because they always change and they always get terrible before the card actually starts. So you want to get them in early. And if you follow my Patreon, you can see when I actually place them and get the odds where they're at when I place them. So, again, this is UFC Tampa. This is the last picks video of the year. I appreciate you guys getting this far once again. And, I'm Young Pastey. Okay? We got music coming soon, so stay tuned for music. New music dropping soon, and it'll be on all streaming platforms because I'm on my shit. So, thank you, everybody. Let's get this cash and end UFC 2024 with a bang. Let's go.